Good afternoon and welcome in for game number 2, the Yankton Post 12 Bucks and your Post 22 Hardhats here in Rapid City at Black Hills Surgical Hospital Ballpark at Dave Blue Field. Game 1, the Hardhats victorious, final score of 8-3. Hardhats trailed 3-1 before a big fourth inning. Put 5 runs on the board in the fourth inning and propelled their way to victory in game 1. Now facing Yankton for the back half of the doubleheader. Wyatt Anderson to the mound for the Hardhats. The right-hander will work solely out of the stretch. The Yankton Post 12 lineup features Rugby Reichen, the catcher, batting first, and Joe Gocke, the shortstop, bats second. Lucas Kampschoff, the third baseman, third. Dylan Prouty in the cleanup spot. He bats fourth. Cody Oswalt, the center fielder, fifth. Drew Reichen, the second baseman, sixth. Landon Locker, the designated hitter, seventh. Samuel Kampschoff, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Mac Reichen, the left fielder, bats ninth for Post 12. Ceremonial tap of the Hardhats around Wyatt Anderson, and we are set for game 2. Here this afternoon, just about 3.5 minutes prior to the originally scheduled first pitch for game 2. Anderson kicks and deals and misses inside ball 1 on Rugby Reichen, and we are underway at 1:26 local mountain time here in Rapid City. Rugby Reichen played left field in game 1. It looks at ball 2 inside. He was in the leadoff spot and walked in the second, but outside of that, he was 0 for 3. 2-0 as a strike called across the belt, 2 balls and a strike. Anderson, the right-hander, works fairly quickly out of the stretch, kicking and dealing, and the 2-1 becomes 3 balls and a strike, low and away. Empty base pass, the leadoff man here for game 2, the 3-1. A high-flying ball into left field. Jed Jensen goes back and now comes in into his right. He makes the grab out number 1. Set the defense for game 2 for the Hardhats. It's Jed Jensen in left field, Zeke Farley, the center fielder, Harrison Good in right field. At the hot corner, third base, Dylan Marsh, Wilson Kiefer, the shortstop, Amarian Saylor, the second baseman, and Alex Dietrich, the first baseman. Jake Solano behind the plate, the other half of the battery mate for Wyatt Anderson on the mound. First pitch misses outside for ball 1 on the shortstop, Joe Gocke. No batting gloves on the right side. And the 1-0, fly ball. This one more of a line drive. Jensen going back in. He dives and makes the grab on the warning track in left field. Jensen roaming straight back and then diving to his right and back at the same time. And all Gocke can do is tip his helmet to Jed Jensen in left field. Couple of flies right there. Put a star next to that one, though. 2 outs, nobody on for Lucas Kampschoff. Kampschoff fouls one off his front shin. Lands in fair territory. But Kampschoff shaking up now, taking a few extra moments to himself. No shin protector on Kampschoff. Has a very high batting average this season. Kampschoff still trying to walk it off. Came into today batting .473. Now that average has dropped a little bit. Kampschoff 1 for 3 in game 1. Anderson playing a little bit of catch with Dylan Marsh, trying to keep his arm warm. It's 0-1 on Kampschoff. 2 outs and nobody on. Scoreless top of the first. Lucas Kampshoff back in on the right side. Solano flashes the signs, and the 1. Breaking ball downstairs. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. So Kampshoff at the hot corner of third base as he was in game 1. Anderson set in the 1-1. Inside and a hit him. So rough at bat for Kampshoff. He fouls a pitch off his own leg, and then he was hit by a pitch. So he trots down to first. 2-out base runner after the hit batter. Wyatt Anderson on the mound this season. 42 1/3, 3-1 record, his 9th start, 11th appearance overall. 29 hits, 27 runs, only 14 earned runs, 48 strikeouts to 28 walks, and a 2.32 ERA for Anderson. His last outing game against Gretna, game 3 in Omaha, as he misses down and away for ball 1. He went 6 innings against Gretna, allowed 3 runs, 2 earned, and 4 walks. That was a 3-1 loss for the Hardhats against the site host Gretna. 2 balls and no strikes. Anderson missed inside on the 1-0. The 2-0 to Dylan Prouty. This is outside, 3 balls and no strikes, and Anderson trying to refine the strike zone after the hit batter. Set in the 3-0. Taking all the way and missed inside ball 4. So a hit batter and a base on balls. After 2 fairly quick outs and nice plays and left by Jed Jensen. Solano has a quick word with him on the mound. It'll bring up Cody Oswalt. Marsh playing well into the 5-6 gap on the left side, even with 2 on. First pitch to Oswalt, misses downstairs, backhand scoop by Solano, and that's 6 straight out of the zone, including the hit batter from Anderson. 1-0, swung on and missed. Finally back into the strike zone and an even count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Anderson will not bat for himself. Guy Jackson, the designated hitter for him. 1-1, hits the outside edge, a ball and 2 strikes. Our umpires for game 2 just swap spots. It's Nathan Montgomery behind the plate now, and Mike Deming in the field. The 1-2 from Anderson misses well in front of the plate, blocked by Solano. He'll fire down to second, and it's not in time. Skipped out of the glove of Kiefer on the tag, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now 2 men in scoring position, 2 outs. Anderson ready for the 2-2 to Oswalt. Here it is, and it's popped foul out of play. So 2 flies to left to Jensen, including one that robbed Goki of extra bases. And a hit batter and a walk. The 2-2 misses outside, 3-2. First base is open with Drew Reichen on deck. Payoff pitch. Chopper left side, Wilson Kiefer on the ground, fields and fires to first, and backhanded by Dietrich on the back end, but it's in time, out number 3. Yankton strands a couple base runners in scoring position, and we are scoreless after 1/2 inning of play. You're listening to Hardhats Baseball on Hardhats TV and simulcasting on KYNT Radio in Yankton.
We are your community. We are your neighbors. Our family of doctors are invested in our community. At Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, we are honored to help you along the journey from injury to recovery. You have a choice with Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you.
Welcome back to Rapid City. Adam Birch. I'm bringing you Hardhats baseball on Hardhats TV and simulcasting on KYNT radio in Yankton. The right-hander, Isaiah Shellhouse, winds, kicks, deals, and misses outside for ball one to Zeke Farley. Zeke Farley, then Amarian Saylor, the second baseman, and Dylan Marsh, the third baseman. Bouncer left side, the shortstop, and Goki. High throw, and it's off the glove. And Farley will reach on an E6 to begin the ball game for the Hardhats offensively. Isaiah Shellhouse, the right-hander. Try and pull up his numbers in a few moments. Here's Amarian Saylor, the second baseman for game two. And he looks at a breaking ball high for ball one. And now Saylor looks at ball two low. Shellhouse did not play in game one. Works out of the stretch, sidesteps and deals, and Saylor pops it foul right side out of play on the 2-0. Becomes 2 balls and a strike. Shellhouse, 16 1/3 innings so far this season. 2.14 ERA. Farley takes off for second, and he dives in as the throw went to the shortstop side. And Farley in with a stolen base. Saylor up in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. Sidesteps and deals the 3-1, high off the netting. And now 3-2. Shellhouse throws the baseball behind his back, comes set, his front foot slightly in front of his back, and double takes back to second, sidesteps and deals, and Saylor pops it foul right side out of play. So 16 1/3. This is his 4th appearance and start. A 3-0 record. 8 hits, 9 runs, 5 earned. And strike 3 called. Saylor goes down looking for out number 1. "11 strikeouts to 7 walks for Shellhouse. Make it 12 strikeouts. Farley takes off for third. The throw was wild of third, but a backhand stop by the third baseman, Kamshoff. Farley has his second stolen base. 1 out. Dylan Marsh in the 3 spot for the Hardhats. The 1-0 to Marsh. Little blooper popped up on the infield. The shortstop and Goki underneath of it, and makes the grab out number 2. Now what the Hardhats had in mind, a little blue pop-up. Now Harrison good, 2 outs, runner on third. Scoreless, bottom of the first. Good's first pitch misses inside, ball 1. Harrison Good in game 1. Reached base 3 times, a couple of walks, a fly to center, and a single. 1-0. Line drive, hooking foul, right side, and it's out of play. One ball and 1 strike on Good. Shellhaus bounces one in front of the plate, blocked by Rugby Reichen. So it's 2 balls and a strike on Good. Harrison Good coming into today, batting .325. He fouls away the 2-1 to put 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 gone. Runner on third for the Hardhats, trying to strike first in this ball game. The 2-2 popped up right side, out of play. Good, we'll see another pitch. Shellhaus at 17 pitches now. This will be number 17. 2-2 popped up on the infield, shallow outfield now, and it's the first baseman Prouty who makes the grab out number 3. Hardhats strand a base runner in scoring position. We're scoreless after 1. Back in a moment on Hardhats TV and KYNT Radio in Yankton. Top of inning number 2 here in Rapid City, game 2. And we're scoreless after 1. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Yankton post 12. That's Drew Reichen, the second baseman, Landon Locker, the designated hitter, and Samuel Kampschoff, the right fielder. Against Wyatt Anderson. Anderson delivers, and a bouncer up the middle, snagged on a dive by Kiefer, up to his feet, fires the first in time, out number 1. Wilson Kiefer keeps showing off, young man. 6-3 in the book. Another star next to that one. Here's Landon Locker. He bats from the right side. Locker chops one to the left side. Dylan Marsh on a low hop, fires across in time, out number 2. So 2 up, 2 gone on 2 pitches. And now is Samuel Kampschoff. Empty base paths with 2 gone. Anderson likes the sign, kicks and deals, and hits the zone for a called strike 1, so no immaculate inning. Gamshoff lays off of a called strike. 0-1, misses high, even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Set in the 1-1. Bouncer left side, Wilson Kiefer on a couple hops, fields and fires. Wild throw, but Dietrich swipes the tag. It's 6-3 in the book and a very quick second inning for the Hardhats defensively, and Anderson on the mound. We're scoreless after 1.5. Hardhats to bat after this on Hardhats TV and KYNT Radio in Yankton. Back in Rapid City for the bottom of inning number 2. We're scoreless through 1.5. And the Hardhats will send the first baseman Alex Dietrich, Kai Jackson, the designated hitter, and Jed Jensen, the left fielder, against Isaiah Schellhaus. Low bouncer past the pitcher and fielded by Reichen, the shortstop. Actually, Ngoki, the shortstop. He fires it in time to get Dietrich down on 1 pitch. 6-3 in the book. A nice play by Goki. Now Kai Jackson, lone left-handed bat for the Hardhats. And he steps in for the first time. 1 out, nobody on. A little bouncer left side. And Goki fields and fires once again. 2 outs on 2 pitches, just as Post 12 went down. The Hardhats have went down on 2 pitches. And now Jed Jensen. Both weak contact that time. Out of the hand of Schellhaus. First pitch to Jed Jensen. He lays off for ball 1, so no immaculate inning for Isaiah Schellhaus. The 1-0 fouled straight back out of play. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jensen, game 1 off. The 1-1 is called strike 2 on the outer edge. A breaking ball backdoor. Semi-backdoor. Hit the outside edge either way, the 1-2. Popped up right side out of play. Two outs and nobody on for the Hardhats. Schellhaus into the line, the 1-2. Inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Schellhaus winds, kicks, deals, and the 2-2. Bouncer left side. The third baseman, Kampschoff, fires low and scooped on the back end by Prouty in time, out number 3. So just as the Hardhats go down, Yankton goes down in the top half. A couple of 6-3s and a 5-3, 3 ground outs. And we head to the third, a very quick inning, number 2 overall here on Hardhats TV and KYNT Radio in Yankton. White Anderson delivers ball 1 low and away to Mac Reichen. 9-1-2 of Yankton. We're scoreless through 2. And Reichen looks at ball 2 a little bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Very quick second inning overall. And Reichen looks at a called strike 1 this time at the knees. 2 balls and a strike. Mac Reichen, a left fielder for game 2. And looks at ball 3 a little bit low. Played second base and then right field in game 1. 3-1, misses high, ball 4. A 5-pitch walk to start off the 3rd from Anderson. Just over 30 pitches now. At 31. Top of the order now, Rugby Reichen. And a backhand scoop and a ball in the turf by Solano. 1 ball, no strikes. Mac Reichen off of first after his leadoff walk. Nobody out. Scoreless. Top of the 3rd. The 1-0. Outside and high. 2 balls and no strikes. Line drive, foul, right side out of play. 2 balls and a strike on Rugby Reichen. He's followed by Joe Goki. 2-1, fouled straight back. High off the netting, even count now 2-2. Reichen flied to left his first time at the plate. That was to start off the ball game here for game 2. Anderson, a nod of the head, comes set. The 2-2, runner takes off. The pitch is low for a ball. The throw is wild. And Mac Reichen swipes second. Three and 2 now on Rugby Reichen. Set in the payoff. Down and away, ball 4. It's back-to-back walks to start the 3rd for White Anderson. Ran into a little bit of trouble in the first inning. A couple of very quick outs and then a hit batter and a walk before getting the final out on bouncer to short. Solano and Coach Clapper reach out of the dugout to talk with Wyatt Anderson. Two on, nobody out. The heart of the Yankton lineup coming to the play in Goki, Kamshoff, Browdy. Solano flashes some signs in front of the plate and back into his crouch behind the plate. Two on, nobody out. Here's Joe Goki. Fly to left his first time up and was robbed of a hit. A diving attempt and a faked pickoff move to second as Goki squared the bunt. Dietrich coming in crashing. Anderson looks in for the sign, comes set. First pitch to Goki, he does not square this time, it's ball 1 low. The pace has slowed down now with runners on base with Anderson and Solano. Set for the 1-0. Squares the bunt this time, and this is way outside, 2-0. Anderson trying to refine the strike zone. Still 2 on and nobody out. The 2-0. Strike across the belt. Called strike one, 2 balls and a strike. Both Reichens on base. Mack on second, Rugby off of first. 2-1 from Anderson. He squares the bunt and Goki drops down a bunt. It'll roll foul. Kind of popped it up into the air, and the spin after it landed on the turf. Spun foul. Solano hands Goki his bat. And Dietrich plays now behind the base runner at first with the 2 strikes. No batting gloves on the right side for Goki. Anderson set the 2-2. Strike 3 called on the outer edge. Goki goes down looking a huge out number 1. First strikeout of the ball game for Wyatt Anderson. It comes for the first out in the 3rd. Now Lucas Kamshoff. He bats from the right side. Came into today batting over 470. First pitch, a line drive, base hit into left center field. Farley quickly over, being sent around third. Reichen. It's cut off, and it's 1-0 Yankton on an RBI single by Lucas Kamshoff. Mac Reichen scores Rugby Reichen to second on the play. Kamshoff off of first now, 1-0. The lead for Yankton. That was the first hit of the ball game for either team. And Anderson misses inside ball 1. Here's Dylan Prouty. He walked his first time at the plate, the 1-0. Outside, now 2 balls and no strikes. It was a 4-pitch walk after a hit batter. Bouncer up the middle. Kiefer on the ground, flips the second for 1, over to first in time. A 6-4-3 inning ending double play. Kiefer to Saylor, over to Dietrich. Yankton strikes first. It's 1-0 on an RBI single by Kamshoff. Hardhats to try and counter in their half of the 3rd after this on Hardhats TV and KYNC Radio in Yankton. Welcome back to Rapid City and Black Hills Surgical Hospital Ballpark at Dave Blue Field. Jake Solano to lead things off, 8-9-1, and Solano, a high flying ball, shallow center field. Cody Oswald underneath of it, and it's off his glove. Solano digs for second, and he slides in there. Boy, it looked like a routine play for Cody Oswald, but the wind blowing it straight in. It bounced off the glove of Oswald. And Solano ends up at second base. An error in the book on the center fielder. Here's Wilson Kiefer. Tying run on second base. He drops down a bunt up the first base line. Schellhaus fires the first in time. The sacrifice works to perfection, and Solano goes to third. Here's Zeke Farley. He reached on an error to start the ball game. Swipe second, then swipe third. One out, man on third. A bouncer left side. Solano will score. And the shortstop, Goki, fires the first in time. We're tied at 1. 6-3 in the book and an RBI for Farley. Now to Marion Saylor. Saylor pops one high, fairly deep down the right field line, and it hooks foul out of play. Saylor struck out looking for the first out in the first. 2 outs, nobody on here, tied at 1. A 1, line drive to right center field. That'll split the outfielders and roll the way to the wall. Amarian Saylor digs for second. He's thinking about 3-0 round second, head for third, and he will be in with a stand-up 2-out triple. Boy, when Amarian Saylor gets his wheels going, there's not much to slow him down. Plays a low guitar on third base towards the Hardhats dugout. First hit of the ball game for the Hardhats. And now Dylan Marsh. Marsh looks at a first pitch breaking ball called strike 1 from Schellhaus. That was his 31st pitch of the day. 0-1. Bouncer left side through the gap into left field. Saylor scores and the Hardhats tie and take the lead immediately after countering the 1 run in the top half of the third. It's 2-1 Hardhats, an RBI single for Dylan Marsh. Now Harrison Good, still 2 men out, Marsh off of first. And Marsh leaning a little bit, the throw is not in time. Marsh dives back in and shaken up a little bit. Kind of a weird, kind of an awkward dive back in. Marsh dealt with the wrist injury at the start of the season and just kind of shaking off his right throwing arm. Coach Ewing waving off the trainer and Coach Torvey. Marsh kind of holding his right shoulder. And it looks like Marsh is going to come out of the ball game. He'll walk himself off. The trainer out of the dugout from Black Hills Orthopedics. Might have popped it out. Coach Torvey over to check on Marsh. And that's where they're kind of working on his right shoulder, almost like Marsh dislocated it. Doing some stretches and trying to get it back to fall into the socket. Marsh will stay in the ball game and just kind of waves off his right arm. Looks to be all right for now. We'll see if he retakes the field. He's at the hot corner of third base, so the longest throw across the diamond on the infield. First pitch to Harrison, good. Popped up right side, out of play. 0-1 on good. He popped out to the first baseman, Prouty. His first trip to the plate. Wind blowing right to left very strongly once again. Marsh takes off for second. Ball bounces up the third base line, foul. Marsh did not slide in a second. Just trot his way back to first. Nothing in 2 on Harrison, good. Shell Haas set at the belt. And a pickoff move over to first. Marsh back in standing up. And windmilling that right arm. The 0-2. Outside. Ball and 2 strikes on good. Game 1 for Harrison, good. 2 walks, a single, and a flyout. So just 1 for 2. Marsh takes off for second. The pitch is high for a ball. Marsh slides in feet first. It goes into center field. Now Marsh takes off for third. Oswalt scoops, and he will hang on to it. So it's a stolen base and a throwing error by the catcher, Rugby Reichen. And Marsh ends up at third. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on good. 90 feet away from making this a 3-1 advantage. And ball 3 misses down and away. 3-2. Count runs full. Shell Haas set at the belt. Peek at Marsh, but he kicks and deals. This is a high fly ball, playable for Cody Oswalt in center. Over to his left and in, and he makes a grab out number 3. Hardhats tie and take the lead, countering the 1 run put up in the top half of the inning. It's 2-1 Hardhats as we get set for inning number 4. Back in a moment on Hardhats TV and simulcasting on KYNT Radio in Yankton. Top of inning number 4 here in Rapid City. A 2-1 advantage for Rapid City over Yankton. And Cody Oswalt to lead things off. The center fielder followed by the second baseman Drew Reichen and the designated hitter Landon Locker. Left-handed bat of Oswalt steps in against Wyatt Anderson. Second at bat against Anderson. And he looks at ball 1 up and away. Oswalt bounced to short his first trip at the plate. A 1-0. This is down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Set in the 2-0. Little blooper into center field. In is Farley, and out is Kiefer, and it lands in between them. They almost collided. Both players kind of sliding. Kiefer sliding, diving out, Farley sliding in, and it will be just a single for Cody Oswald. Start off the fourth. Now Drew Reichen. Robbed of a base hit by Kiefer. Diving stop and then quickly up to his feet and he threw him out. First pitch breaking ball in the turf, blocked by Solano. Oswald stays put. So Reichen is 0 for 1. Payoff move back to first, and just back in time is Oswald. Dietrich looked like he wanted the call. Oswald did not slide in. Another pickoff move, and a little bit quicker to the bag this time. Ball and no strikes on Reichen. 1-0 is low, 2-0. Anderson likes the sign from Solano. Here's the 2-0. Long pause and a pickoff move. We'll wait for the 2-0. Right at 50 pitches wide, Anderson. Actually 51. That was his 52nd. 3-0 the count now. Setting a 3-0. Get me over fastball down the middle for strike one. Reichen taking all the way. No batting gloves on the right side. And the 3-1. Strike two at the knees. All the way back from 3-0 to 3-2. Anderson looks in, likes the sign, and comes set the payoff. And we'll have to wait. Oswald back in, standing up. Presumably in motion on the 3-2. Runner in motion, and Reichen fouls it away. So Drew Reichen will see another pitch. 3-2. Payoff once again, in motion once again, and a fly ball to center field. Farley back into his left. He makes the grab out number one. So Reichen finally retired. 1 out and 1 on, brings up the designated hitter, Landon Locker. Locker 0 for 1, bounced to third his first time. Our pickoff move, and this one wild to Dietrich and goes up the right field line. Oswald digs for third, and the throw comes in cut off, so it's an error on the pitcher, Anderson, to allow Oswald from first to third. And now the tying run, 90 feet away with less than 2 outs. First pitch to Locker, strike down the middle across the belt, 0-1. Marsh still trying to stretch out his throwing arm. 0-1, a high fly ball left center field. Back as Farley, still moving back, and he can't get there. And one bounces on the warning track. He fields and gets it in, but Oswald just trots his way home. It's a one-out double for Landon Locker, and Yankton ties things up at 2 apiece. So the error, a costly one. Here's Samuel Kamshoff. First pitch high and tight. He ducks out of the way of it for ball 1. Kamshoff bounced to Kiefer at short. First time at the plate. And a bouncer right side past the diving Dietrich into right field. Harrison Good up and firing to the plate. The throw beats him, and the tag, he's out. Boy, never test the arm of Harrison Good. He has a cannon in right field and throws out another with another outfield assist. It's a single for Samuel Kamshoff. And put a star next to that one as Locker's thrown out for out number 2. Here's Mac Reagan. Runner on second, 2 gone. First pitch from Anderson down and away, ball 1. There is a reliever sent down to the pen. The Hardhats, it looks like Leland Negebauer again. He only threw probably 3 pitches to get the final out of game 1. 1-0 becomes 2 balls and no strikes as it misses downstairs. (2-0). A strike across the knees, 2 balls and a strike. Anderson set at the chest. 2-1. Strike 2 on the inside edge, right above the belt. 2-2. Runner on second, 2 gone. Tied at 2. Set in the 2-2. Popped up, foul out of play. Anderson likes the sign from Solano now. Set and another 2-2. Breaking ball down and away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. A runner on second, 2 gone. Yankton out hitting the Hardhats 3-2. Payoff from Anderson. Strike 3 called at the knees, and that'll end the 4th inning. We're tied once again, tied at 2. Yankton counters with 1 run in their half of the 4th. We enter the bottom half after this on Hardhats TV and simulcasting on KYNT Radio in Yankton. Alex Dietrich lines one foul. Right at the Hardhats bullpen to begin the bottom of the fourth. Tied at 2. Shellhaas winds, kicks, deals, and misses down and away. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. We're tied at 2. 1 run in the third and fourth inning for Yankton. A bouncer right side. The second baseman, Drew Reichen, fires the first in time, out number 1. And Dietrich goes down 4-3 in the book. He's 0 for 2. Brings up Kai Jackson, empty base paths with 1 out, and Jackson looks at ball 1 high. 1 ball and no strikes. Shellhaas into the line, he kicks and deals the 2-0 bouncer right side, right past Coach Ewing up the first base line. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Isaiah Shellhaas into the wind and the 1-1. Up and away, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. He winds, kicks, and deals, and the 2-1 fouled straight back and off the netting. Even count, 2-2. Shellhaas likes the sign and the 2-2. Outside, ball 3. 3-2 now on Kai Jackson. Here's the payoff pitch. Isaiah Shellhaas to Kai Jackson. Up and away, ball 4. Breaking ball, tried the back door and missed. It's a 1-out base on balls drawn by Jackson. Go ahead run put on base for the Hardhats. They trailed 1-0 heading to the bottom of the third, scored 2 in their half of the third. Now we sit tied at 2. First pitch to Judd Jensen, a breaking ball swung on and missed. 0-1. Jensen bounced out to third, and Lucas Kamshoff, his first time at the plate. Runner off of first, the 0-1. Breaking ball stays high. Jensen thought about it, held up. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1. Downstairs, off the catcher's mask in Reichen. And up to second goes Jackson on the wild pitch. That took a weird bounce and bounced in front of the plate and then off the mask of Rugby Reichen. Jackson now at second, the 2-1. Called strike 2, outer edge. Even count, 2-2. Jake Solano on deck, barring a double play ball. The 2-2. Line drive, snagged on a hop by the diving shortstop Joe Goki, and Jensen robbed of an RBI base knock. Thrown out 6-3, put a star next to that one. And now Jake Solano. Jackson goes to third on the play. Jake Solano reached on an error. His first time at the plate, he looks at ball 1 low and away. Kind of a blooper in the shallow center field, and it was off the running glove of Cody Oswalt. And it dropped. Solano running hard was already around first, had to go to second, and he slid in there. The 2-0. Foul back off the netting. Two balls and a strike on the Hardhats catcher. Two one, line drive, short hop on Goki once again. He snags it, fires the first in time, out number 3. Boy, a nice inning for the Yankton shortstop. And the Hardhats are held off the scoreboard. We're tied after 4. Head to the 5th after this on Hardhats TV and KYNC Radio in Yankton. Back for the top of the 5th inning here in Rapid City, as we once again welcome to those who usually watch Yankton Post 12 on KYNC TV and KYNC Radio in Yankton, as well as those watching on Hardhats TV. Wyatt Anderson back to the mound. He delivers strike 1 at the knees, a called strike on the catcher, Rugby Reichen. Reichen 0 for 1, a fly to left and a walk. This one, fly ball deep center field. Zeke Farley twisting and turning. Now he's underneath of it and he makes the grab, out number 1. Now Joe Goki. 0 for 2 day for Goki. He's had a nice showing in the field. It's been a shortstop display for Kiefer and Goki. Basically anything you can do, I can do as well or better. Goki fouls away the first pitch out of play. No balls and a strike. Fly to left in the first and struck out looking against Anderson in the 3rd. Set in the 0-1, bounces in front of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Right at the bottom of the 2 o'clock hour here, local Mountain time. The 1-1. Breaking ball called strike 2. 1 out, nobody on for Yankton. We're tied at 2 already in the 5th inning. 1-2. Bouncer off the plate. Looked like it was off the plate. Fielded by Marsh. He won't have a play. Fires it anyway to first. But Goki beats out an infield single. Looked like it bounced off the plate. Took a high, very high bounce. It's ruled fair. And now Lucas Kampshoff. Runner on first, one gone. This bounces in front of the plate, blocked by Solano. A ball and no strikes. Kampshoff, an RBI base knock. His last trip in the third, hit by a pitch in the first. 1-0, runner takes off for second. The pitch is a called strike to throw down, not in time. Backed up on the play by Kiefer. So it's a stolen base on the called strike. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. And a little bit of discrepancy on what the count was. The 1-1 goes behind Kampshoff, and up to third goes Goki. Wild pitch this time. So a single, a stolen base, and a wild pitch puts the go-ahead run 90 feet away with less than 2 outs. 2-1. Down and in, away. Backhand stop by Solano. 3-1. Negebauer continues to throw in the Hardhats bullpen. Setting 3-1. Ball 4 misses a touch outside, so Kampshoff trots his way down to first. Third time he's been on base. The single and a hit by pitch as well. Runners on the corners, 1 out now for Dylan Prouty. Middle infield and double play depth. Dietrich holding on Kampshoff. Marsh playing about in line with the third base bag, and it's a called strike 1 on Prouty. Nothing in 1. Anderson kicks and deals and misses down and away. Even count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Negebauer is warm and ready, walking back to the Hardhats dugout. With Philip Bentz. Pickoff move over to first as Kampshoff dives back in safely. One ball, 1 strike on Prouty. Anderson, his 81st pitch. Strike 2 called on the outer edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Prouty. He's 0 for 1, a walk in the first, but bounced into a 6-4-3 inning ending. Double play in the third. 1-2. Line drive, base hit in the left center field. A run comes in to score. Up to second goes Kampshoff. And Yankton takes their first lead of the ball game. Second lead of the ball game, rather, at 3-2. Goki comes in and scores. And that'll be the end of the day for Wyatt Anderson on the mound. RBI single for Dylan Prouty. It's the southpaw Lee Negebauer in relief of Anderson. Expected to go a little bit longer than he did in game 1. Just threw 3 pitches for the final out of game 1. So we'll take a 30-second step aside and come back here with Negebauer on the mound. 3-2 Yankton in the top of the 5th. Back in a moment right here on Hardhats TV and KYNT Radio in Yankton. Welcome back to Rapid City. Lee Negebauer ready on the mound. Southpaw tops and gloves with infielders around him. Marsh, Kiefer, Saylor, and Dietrich all trot back out to their respective positions. Cody Oswald steps in on the left side, 2 on, 1 out, 3-2 Yankton. And that's where Wyatt Anderson leaves. So no chance for Anderson to leave with a victory for game 2. He might be able to leave with a no decision should the Hardhats come back. Negebauer set after the first pitch strike, and Oswald waves at a breaking ball. Lefty-lefty matchup, and 0-2. Solano flashes the signs to Negebauer, comes set at the chest, peek at second, the 0-2. Strike 3 called on the outer edge, and the lefty Negebauer sets down the lefty Oswald. Looking, out number 2. Now Drew Reichen. Reichen 0 for 2, robbed of a hit in the second by Kiefer. And fly to center his last trip. First pitch, a strike across the knees, 0-1. No balls and a strike. Reichen, no batting gloves on the right side. Negebauer set at the chest. Kicks and deals the 0-1. Fly ball to left field. It is Jensen, and he makes the grab out number 3. So Negebauer comes in and does his job. Gets the final 2 outs of the 5th without allowing a run. It's 3-2 Yankton. Hardhats try and counter after this on Hardhats TV and simulcasting on KYNT Radio in Yankton. Wilson Kiefer leads off the bottom of the 5th for the Hardhats and takes a high flying ball to shallow center field. In is Cody Oswald underneath of it and makes the grab for out number 1. Kiefer down on 1 pitch. So he's 0 for 1 after dropping down a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd. Top of the order now for the Hardhats in Zeke Farley. Farley 0 for 2, but does have an RBI and reach base lead off the bottom of the first, being an error. Looks at a called strike one, breaking ball outer edge from Shellhouse. The 0-1, down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kiefer, Farley, and Saylor, 9-1 and 2, and Farley was ready for that ball to go on past behind him. It hits his bat behind him, the bat head behind him, and that's a foul ball. Now we saw this in Omaha, where Harrison Good was at the plate, but in back-to-back games, I haven't ever seen that. The 1-2. Line drive, base hit right back up the middle into center field. Farley does it anyway, and he's into the hit column for the first time here in game 2. Actually into the hit column for the first time today overall. Here's Amarian Saylor, a triple and a run scored. His last time up in the third. Outfield playing a little bit deeper with Saylor at the plate, and he goes after the first pitch, a bouncer to third. Kampshoff to second for 1, but Saylor beats out the relay. And the shortstop was taken out on the play as Goki ended up on his chest. Now, is that runner's interference? Our field umpire was looking at first after the out was recorded. Not sure where our home plate umpire was looking, because both those calls are for our field umpire. Looked like Farley did slide, so it's not runner's interference in that sense. But our umpires converging and having a long conversation about it. If it is runner's interference, the inning's over. And my guess is they're saying they didn't see it. Or didn't see the runner's interference. Because now they are talking to the Yankton head coach. And he's doing the majority of the talking now. It is civil at this point, but having a long conversation. Just a shrug of the shoulder from our umpires, and they're just saying there's 2 outs. So Saylor beats out a fielder's choice. He's on base for the second time. Here's Dylan Marsh. Tying run on base, so they just replace the base runner. And Saylor dives back in on a pickoff attempt. Dylan Marsh is 1 for 2, and Saylor goes on the first pitch and swipes second standing up. The right pitch to run on as it ended up in the turf. Large lead for Saylor once again. Shellhouse delivers and a bluff steal at third, but Marsh looks at ball 2 outside. 2-0 the count on Dylan Marsh. RBI single his last trip in the third. Popped out to short in the first. 2-0, line drive foul into the Hardhats bullpen. Actually, it bounced on out of the Hardhats bullpen. So 2 balls and a strike now on Marsh. Two one. Outside, another breaking ball from Shellhaus. 3 balls and 1 strike. Shellhaus to Marsh. Ready in the 3-1. Sailor takes off for third and misses outside for a ball. Sailor dives into third with a stolen base. It's runners on the corners with 2 outs. Yankton coach flashes some signs. On the corners with 2 outs for Harrison Good. Harrison is 0 for 2 here in game 2. Runner takes off for second. The pitch is high for a ball. The throw down not in time. Sailor scores standing up, and we're tied at 3. Design play for the Hardhats. Try and swipe the base if they throw it all the way down to second. Well, take off for the plate. And this one in the turf and up the first baseline. Marsh takes third on the wild pitch. Two balls and no strikes on Harrison Good. Now the go-ahead run 90 feet away, the 2-0. Runs inside and hits him right above. The 1 and the 4 on his back. Out the shoulder blades. Dead center. Harrison Good will trot down to first. Runners on the corners with 2 gone once again. And here comes the Yankton coach out of the dugout. That might be the end of the day for Isaiah Shellhaus. Long talking to for Drew Lawrence and the Yankton infield. Hardhats saw Yankton last year in Yankton and had a couple good games. Played a doubleheader last year and won both of them. And the Hardhats hosting Yankton this year, just before the Firecracker tournament, which will bring in lots of good competition from Colorado, Nebraska, Wyoming, I believe, too. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, tied at 3, and Alex Dietrich to hit now against Shellhaus. Runner takes off for second. Harrison Good will walk his way into second with no throw. So second and third now. One out to Dietrich, popped up right side out of play. Dietrich 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs, 1 to short, 1 to second. Sky blue batting gloves with the red stripes. This one a line drive and a base hit into center field. Rounding third and diving in is Harrison Good. 2-run single for Alex Dietrich. And the Hardhats retake the lead. It's 5-3. Dietrich into the hit column here in game 2. He's had a nice day overall. After coming on for the injured Hayden Hall, had a couple of singles in game 1. First pitch to Kai Jackson is outside for ball one. Shalhaus still on the mound. Expected to finish at least this inning. No one warming in the Yankton dugout, or Yankton bullpen. And he misses outside with a breaking ball, 2-0. Approaching 80 pitches. That was his 75th. 76th is high and outside. Kai Jackson thought about it, but held up. It's 3-0 on Jackson. Expect to take on the 3-0 with a runner on first and 2 outs. Jackson goes after it and swings right through it. Wanted to send that one over the fence. Three balls and a strike now on Jackson. Runner takes off for second. Jackson pops it up shallow right field in his Kampshoff underneath of it and makes the grab out number 3. Hardhats retake the lead at 5-3 with 3 runs in the bottom half of the 5th inning. It's 5-3 Rapid City. We head to the 6th after this on Hardhats TV and KYNT Radio in Yankton. Lee Negebauer back to the mound for the Hardhats as we get set to begin inning number 6. Back and forth ball game here in game 2. 1-0 heading to the bottom of the 3rd for Yankton after a scoreless first 2. Hardhats counter with 2 in the bottom half to take a 2-1 advantage. Yankton immediately tied at 2, then took the lead in the 5th. They tied it in the 4th. And the Hardhats counter with 3 runs in their half of the 5th. That's where we stand, top of the 6th now, 5-3. First pitch from Negebauer misses high for ball 1 on Landon Locker. 1-0, misses downstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. Locker, an RBI double his last time up. He's 1 for 2 with a bouncer to third. 2-0 from Negebauer is a strike called across the belt. 2 balls and a strike. Negebauer winds, kicks, steals, and the 2-1 swung on and missed. Even count now, 2-2. Locker, Samuel Kampshoff, and Mac Reichen, the 3 scheduled. 2-2. Strike 3 called at the top of the zone. And Negebauer sits down, Locker looking, his second strikeout of the ball game. Out number 1 in the 6th. That brings up Samuel Kampshoff. Open stance on the right side. The wind, the kick, and the deal from Negebauer misses high. Ball 1. Into the wind. Solano sits up, down, and away. And Negebauer misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes. And the 2-0 skips in front of the plate. 3 balls and no strikes on Kamshoff, the 8th spot. Samuel Kamshoff, 1 for 2 here in game 2. A single his last trip. Thrown out, trying to score 9-2. And ball 4 misses outside. So a 4-pitch walk after the strikeout. Here's Mac Reichen. Runner on first, 1 out. And Jed Jensen is flossing in left field. Reichen looks at ball 1, down and away. Kiefer kind of signaled to move back. And this one flied right side out of play. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mac Reichen walked and scored in the 3rd, struck out looking in the 4th. Hardhats and double play depth on their infield. 1-1. A strike across the belt. 1-2. Top of the order on deck in Rugby Reichen. 1-2. Strike 3 called right across the knees. And Mac Reichen down looking for the 2nd time. This time against Negebauer. 3rd strikeout overall, out number 2 in the 6th. Top of the lineup now. Rugby Reichen, the catcher. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Couple of flyouts outside of that. 1 to left, 1 to center. First pitch to Rugby Reichen. This is downstairs for ball 1. Pickoff move over to first, not in time. Hardhats in their half of the 6th have the bottom 3rd, Jensen, Solano, and Kiefer. 1-0. Down and away, 2 balls, no strikes. And this one, a bouncer to short. Kiefer fields and fires to first in time, out number 3. 5-3 after 5.5. We headed to the bottom half of the 6th. That for this on Hardhats TV and KYNT Radio in Yankton. Welcome back for the bottom of inning number 6. Yankton and Rapid City. Hardhats have Jed Jensen at the plate, the left fielder, followed by Jake Solano on the catcher and Wilson Kiefer, the shortstop. Jensen, 3-bouncer to the shortstop off his back foot. Joe Ngoki throws out Jensen on 1 pitch, 6-3 in the book for out number 1. Now Jake Solano. 1 out, nobody on. Hardhats leading 5-3. Solano 0 for 2, reached on an error in center. His first try, he scored after that. Little flare to right field, underneath of it, Samuel Kamshoff. And Kamshoff puts a squeeze on it for out number 2. Quickly, 2 up, 2 gone. That'll bring up Wilson Kiefer. 2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 6th. Kiefer just 0 for 1. He dropped down a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd. A fly to center his last trip. Looks at a called strike 1 here. 0-1. Isaiah Shellhaus still on the mound for Yankton, the 0-1. Bounced foul behind the plate. 0-2 on Kiefer. Now Shellhaus winds, kicks, deals the 0-2. Line drive and sinking right in front of the center fielder. Quickly in. And Kiefer down with a base hit. He's in the hit column for the first time here in game 2. 3 hits in game 1, including a couple of very nice defensive plays. He would have been the player of the game. Kiefer takes out for second. The pitch is low and away for ball 1. And the throw is to the second base side of second. Kiefer swipes second base. Farley is 1 for 3. A single, an RBI, ground out, a line drive, base hit into center field. Kiefer being sent around third. The throw comes in from Oswald. It beats him, but it bounces to the catcher. Kiefer had to avoid the catcher slide and then pat his hands on the plate, kind of playing patty cake with the plate. And he scores. It's 6-3 Hardhats. RBI single for Zeke Farley. Boy, if Rugby Riken would have been able to corral that, Kiefer would have been out. Now a high fly ball, right field corner, Amarian Saylor. It bounces, no, it's caught by Samuel Kamshoff. Looked like he almost lost his footing in right field, but he makes the grab for out number 3. Hardhats tack on one more insurance run. It's 6-3 Hardhats. We head to the top of the 7th. Right after this on Hardhats TV and simulcasting on KYNT Radio in Yankton. Tap the Hardhats around Lee Negebauer to start the top of the 7th. Hardhats leading by 3. It's 6-3. Negebauer trying for what would almost be a 3-inning save, but he entered when the Hardhats were trailing, so Negebauer is actually in line for the win. First pitch to Joe Goki, inside for ball 1. Goki singled, stole second, advanced to third on a wild pitch, and then scored in the 5th. Struck out before that, and this one bounced foul up the left field line. Fly to left, robbed of extra bases by Jed Jensen in the 1st inning. Way back in the 1st inning. Negebauer winds, kicks, deals the 1-1. Bouncer left side. Kiefer charges, bobbles it a little bit, fires across, but it's not in time. Safe at first is Goki. And the 2 shortstops still doing battle on the baseball field. Infield single for Goki. And that's the lead off the 7th. So now Lucas Kamshoff. Negebauer set. First pitch to Kamshoff. A called strike 1. Lucas Kamshoff is 1 for 1. Hit by a pitch, an RBI single, then a walk. In game 2, a 1. Misses downstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Negebauer likes the sign from Solano. Set. Kicks and deals. And the breaking ball misses downstairs. 2-1. Southpaw likes the sign from Solano and set. The 2-1 is flared foul. Right side out of play. 2-2 now. Kamshoff foul, followed by Dylan Prouty. Two-two. Solano sets up inside, and it's fouled away. Right side out of play. Looked to be where Solano wanted that ball. Two-two once again. Swung on and missed. Lucas Kamshoff goes down swinging. Round number 1. Now Dylan Prouty. 1 for 2 day, a walk, a single, and an RBI, and then a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play in the 3rd. Runner on first, 1 gone. Negebauer kicks and deals, and Prouty goes after the high fastball and misses. 0-1. Infield and double play depth. Saylor and Kiefer playing up the middle. 0-1. Bouncer up the third base line, foul. Rolls near the Hardhats dugout. Nothing in 2 now on Prouty. Oswald on deck. And Negebauer wants a new baseball. So a slight delay here as our home plate umpire gains some new balls. Still nothing in 2 on Prouty. Negebauer now likes the sign from Solano and the 0-2 to Prouty. Fly ball right side, foul territory, long run for Harrison, good, and it bounces in the post 12 bullpen. So Prouty stays alive. Pitch up in the zone from Negebauer. Wind continuing to blow hard here in Rapid City. The 0-2. Just got a piece of it on the bat hit. Prouty will see at least one more pitch. Cody Oswald, barring a double play ball, is 1 for 3. Single and a run scored. A 2-strike pitch. Downstairs blocked by Solano. Ball and 2 strikes now on Prouty. Negebauer toes the rubber once again. The 1-2. Chopper to Kiefer at short. Flips the Sailor for one. A high and wild throw off the netting. And backed up by Solano. Looked like Sailor just had it slip out of his hand. It was way high. Not a chance for Dietrich to come down with it. So Prouty reaches on the fielder's choice. No error because they do gain an out. So Goki now off the base paths. And we'll see if our umpires are discussing whether or not to give a base to Prouty because that ball hit high off the netting. And should that netting not be there, would have went out of play. So they say because of the ground rule, my guess, and because of how the ballpark is set up, it did not go out of play. So the runner is only awarded first. Here's Cody Oswald. 2 outs, man on first, and a line drive right at Zeke Foley into his glove, out number 3. And just like that, the Hardhats victorious in both games of the doubleheader here today. Final score in Game 2, 6-3 over Post 12. Fans, thank you so much for tuning in, and all those tuning in all the way across the state in Yankton, thank you so much for tuning in as well. And thank you for simulcasting on KYNC Radio in Yankton. My name is Adam Birch. Until the Firecracker Tournament, the Hardhats play at 7 o'clock on Thursday evening. And until then, my name is Adam Birch.